So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you today? So, today there's the energies that are shifting us as people on this planet is absolutely astonishing. I don't know if you're feeling it. I don't know if you're feeling the changes in between one moment to the next moment. Are you noticing the changes? So it's evening here in the UK, and I'm just sat here wondering what I was going to talk about today for personal growth. And it dawned on me that the tools that I've been working with for the last 20 years, trying to bring them to humanity, have brought me so many lessons to learn just how to step up into believing that you have something as a gift to humanity. I'm saying not having a clue, not really working out, actually using life experience to work out how to bring this message to humanity. And I know some people in the community have got it, some people are getting it. And even as it's unfolding, each person who I'm having the opportunity, the honour, the privilege to connect to and to help to navigate some kind of an alignment plan for them, it's becoming more and more clearer that the more that I serve, the more I receive. The more I receive in wisdom, in nuggets, golden nuggets, to be able to think, right, I've got another message. How do I bring this message out to more people? So I have to thank every single body who's watching this video, who's maybe thought, well, I'll watch it later. Those that have gone through some of the processes that I teach, the tell your story, the empowerment game, playing the alignment plan, the divine alignment plan, aligning to your higher self. And also for those people that have made comments, that have messaged me, that I've had conversations with, that have just uplifted my spirit, that have sent me pictures. I have to thank you so much. I'm so grateful for every interaction because it really supports developing what we're doing here even more and even grander and getting the message out there even stronger than before, because I can be quite passive. I think I can be quite, what's the word? I think my experience in the density of our world has made me not maybe ask people for things as much as I would want to, because I see a world where everybody is happy, where there's a real deep core happiness that is such a strong feeling. And that's the vision that I had many years ago, which was, sat in this space outside, and it was glorious, and just hearing laughter and feeling calm and relaxed and peaceful, and just being there, just being, and wondering, gosh, have I created this? Have I helped to create this? Because obviously it takes each and every one of us to create our realities. It takes each and every single one of us. So if you're sending love and hearts right now and you're watching this video, you're welcome. Today I wanted to talk about, like I said, this transition that we're making. And it dawned on me, because like I said, it does take a while sometimes. The 3D, which has been our dense world that we've been born into, we're letting go of a lot of the old way of being. It's never served us. The old way of doing, actually, from doing to being. That's how I make the transition from the 3D is doing and the 5D is being. And as we're making this shift, I think some of us have forgotten that us as humans, are the ones that are bringing this shift, because the earth just continues. Ryan, I wonder if you're on there. You might not be, I don't know. If you are, hello. So let me explain that we're shifting from the 3D, from the doing to the being. I really wish I could see what comments are coming up so I could actually answer you directly, as opposed to wait until later. Let's see if we can do it live. Let's see if I can put it on here really quickly. I might not be able to do it because sometimes it just takes a little long to get on here. So we're making this shift from doing, oh bless, my Bless, my cousin's just posted something up there about not being well. Hi, Robert. Oh, I can see you now. Let's have a see. Hi, Robert. We are on this voyage and experience it together. Absolutely. Oh, I'm so excited when people are on and doing live. Thank you for being here. And Leticia and Dina, thank you so much for being here live. It's always great to see some love hearts. Would be fantastic. Sorry, just for asking for that. But we are in this experience together, and we are on the voyage together, and each of us sharing our journey just helps us so much to bring in a reality of what we want, of bringing in how do we want the world to be, because not many, I don't know many people who wanted wars and fighting and arguing and stress and anxiety, all that. We can leave all that behind and just create a world that we want to create. As wild as we want to create it, we can create it and manifest it. And so this journey is the journey back to oneness, but oneness is where we came from. So if we're going back to where we came from, not where we came from on earth, but where we came from in terms of our wholeness. Let's just double check there's nothing there coming through. And so what I discovered, let me just have a see. There's two things I want to do here today. So the first thing is that one of the things that I've done is the tell your story, as an example, is the story process is to enable, it's a blueprint, it's called a blueprint. And what I realised today is that many people don't realise what a blueprint is, but just imagine for a moment, this is another imagine. Imagine for a moment, which John Lennon, that we all came to Earth with an outline plan. Now, if you believe that, then do make comments underneath. We all came with an outline plan of our destiny. It had already been decided where we were going to go, where we were going to be born, who we were going to meet. We were also decided what was going to make us sad. Because whatever was going to make us sad was going to give us the best opportunity to give us the balance, because we're in duality. So we're always in the opposite. So if we've had a bad experience, and if you listen to Abraham Hicks, she really explains it really well, in that our experience is always about a contrast. That whatever we experience, there's always a contrast to it. So if our lives have been, I talk about my life in particular, has been deemed as being quite adverse and quite sad from childhood, then the likelihood is that all the times that those experiences happened, I just threw out a different thought of how I wanted it to be. That didn't want it to be like this. How did I want it to be? And I might not have known how I wanted it to be, but I just knew that it was moving away from this. So pain and pleasure, that opposites. And so imagine if we came with this blueprint, and this blueprint was already destined, it was already outlined for us, just joining the dots together, but that we asked for some experiences in order to be able to experience the contrast. So now I feel like I'm in this land of the contrast, because I've done all that. I've done all the lessons that I needed to learn in dense 3D. We all have. Now it's about what was it that you wanted to claim in 5D? What were those magical moments that you thought, oh gosh, wouldn't that be wonderful? That's the time that we're in now, is imagining all those experiences that you had here that you didn't want, that you didn't reject them, you just said, didn't really enjoy that. Then all these experiences of the contrast are on the way. What does that look like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? So imagine that all those experiences would lead us to the choices of happiness and alternative. Because we entered into a field of impossibilities. So when we came into 3D, we were stunted. It was like, right, it's going to be impossible for you to achieve happiness. It's going to be absolutely impossible. And there was a cage, there was a web that was put on us that we didn't ask for, but that it brought us experiences that we didn't necessarily want. But at the same time, we didn't want them, our thoughts were sending us a different message. So imagine that this field of impossibilities, but you discovered the bridge of experiences. You walked for it enough to reach transition. So as you remember, if a bridge, you start moving along this bridge, and sometimes you get pulled back And that's what's been happening in our world. We've been pulled back into the 3D. We've started to go across this bridge of like, I'm not happy about that, moving away from pain, going towards pleasure. And we've been pulled back because of the demands of everyday life. And now you've reached the halfway point. You're like, right, this is the transition. And you've walked far enough to reach transition. Listening to this, you have reached transition. Eventually, that's transformed enough to play in the field of infinite possibilities. So you've crossed over this transition and you're almost ready to enter into the field of infinite possibilities. Alone, you created the blueprint as a reminder of the promise that we all made each other. So we were all alone in 3D, but we'd made a blueprint together before we came here. We made a blueprint and a promise to each other, and that we would use some stepping stones in order for us to get onto the same page. Those stepping stones weren't about bypassing the spiritual, which is what's happened in the 3D world. We've bypassed mainly our spiritual evolution, whereas now we've got to this bridge of transition and we're making this transition. And the way that we get to this transition into this infinite field of possibility is through connecting with each other, remembering through each other, through sharing our stories, through explaining where we've been and what we've experienced and what we didn't like and all the things that we felt that held us back. We just release all that in order to be able to access this field. And so what the blueprint has done is the blueprint has taken out all the stresses of how do you get your message out there, because we have to raise our voices. Our voices have been stunted. We've been kind of like suffocated. And as we share our story on these steps to success, then what we're doing is we're releasing our truth. And so we don't want to get bogged down in that. We don't want to get bogged down in social media. How do we market? How do we get our message out there? What's the framework? What's the format? How do we promote? How do we advertise to reach in and bring other people in? The blueprint has already done 2/3 of that for you. So this is the easy route. This is the route to success. And this is the call out that I put out almost over 20 years ago. I was kind of like, can we not find a group of people that are all on the same kind of journey, that are recognizing that their voices have been stunted, that the silent desperation, that they want that they bring something, that we all bring something to the jigsaw, to make this banquet, in a way, this table, this banquet, rich, full of all sorts, the uniqueness that we all bring. You know, it's like having a salad. I always think that, and if you've got a banquet, you don't want a table full of tomatoes, you don't want a table full of lettuce, but the whole range of salads that there is that you could possibly put in. We represent all that. We represent all the colours from around the world. But we just need that transition of familiarity and where we're moving away from. We're moving away from that pain to pleasure. Why not talk about that pain, release it once and for all? Because the darkness needs to be seen. All those hidden conversations, those hidden thoughts that we had with ourselves and wondering if we were on our own, then this is about how do we release that? How do we release that together and recognize where we've been to strengthen our song as one community into oneness? So that's the blueprint. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love for you to share. I've just managed to finally, so I just want to share, because I like to share a visual. So today's visual is this one, which is about exactly what I've just said. It's about how do we shift from 3D to 5D. And those are the tools. It's like I finally realised that these are the tools that have been gifted through me to gift back to you. And the easiest way for me to describe that has been from 3D to 5D. It's an inner transformation. It's actually an inner releasing. It's an advanced soul growth training. So it means that you are advancing your soul because you're recognizing, as you leave this 3D world behind through telling your story chapter by chapter, then what you're doing is releasing the old layers and moving down into a new level of being, which you already have. It's just accessing more of who you are. So if you're somebody who's involved in spiritual coaching or even just coaching, even business coaching, if you're a carer, a lot of carers that are out there that don't feel like they're of any great use to humanity, I need to hear from you. If you're an artist who's been out there struggling to get your materials out there, I need to hear from you. Social workers, givers, people that just give, because that's who they are. Then we need you on board as well. We need to hear these stories of different people who have experienced life so differently, but when we come together, we recognize our similarities, and it's just wonderful. It's such a healing transformation, a healing opportunity to experience the gift of presence, that when we're present, listening to each other, there's just something that's magical. Any volunteers, any nursery nurses, anybody who's working with children, come and share your story, because you've got some gifts. There's some special gifts that you get released throughout this process. Anybody who's into holistic health and therapy, people that are involved in massage, people that are involved in communicating with people on an intimate level, anybody who's involved in touch therapy. But right now we can't do touch therapy, so this is another way of touching the heart. Any counsellors, nurses, light workers, empaths, these are all people that this tool is ready for you to make that transition. Because just to share a little bit of the vision is that we're nurturing each person, by each person going through from 3D to 5D. It's a very delicate process in many ways. And as you go through the process, you're realizing, so you're releasing to realize just so much. I can't say what you're going to realize because it's down to you, but the process itself will allow you to really go there. And as you go there, then what you're doing is you're making space to become the teacher. So this is about training you to train. So there's going to be a lot of us that are going to be in this space, but we're going to need a lot of people that have gone through the process in order to be able to handhold and teach others to go through the process as well. So I have to thank everybody who's been active recently, because each person who has contributed in conversation of this is allowing me to really step into, this is what this space is, this is what we've created. I've never really used the terms 3D and 5D because I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand it. It's not, it's just about energy. It's about shifting from a denser energy to a higher energy, and you're part of that transformation. These tools are from 5D plus, so these tools have never been seen too much in 3D because the energy was too dense. So now that we're moving more into 5D, people are getting it a little bit more, and they'll get it even more as we start creating a big network of people. The goal is 10,000 people. So you're needed. You're needed to share your story. You're unique. We're all unique. We need millions of people to share their story, but we need a team of people to help those people to get through the process as well. So this is a very 5D strategy. It's also got an income generation tool towards it to be able to pay it forward. So even that, it helps to balance out the economy. That's what we're starting with first. You'll get to understand it more as we grow, but do look through my videos. Go onto YouTube, Empowering Angel. You'll see a lot of my recordings from the past that are on there that have the same thread all the way through, that we're building a transformational organization, and that organization, we're actually building a sanctuary, and it's an inner sanctuary. Let's see if it's on the next slide. Actually, no, it was on the previous slide. This is what we're building. We're turning our stories into a transformational sanctuary for humanity. And what that is that each of us, by going within, is going to develop this sanctuary, a 5D sanctuary, to be able to nurture other people by walking our talk. This, what I didn't mention actually, but what we're demonstrating is a walk in the talk. So the new qualification is our experiences, is our lessons, it's our lessons that we've learned, and it's being able to teach through mentoring. So it's not about somebody gaining a qualification. My qualifications, diploma, degree, masters, those aren't the qualifications that was going to take us into this new transition in terms of 5D. It's about applying what you love. What did you love about those experiences, and what do you want to take forward with you into the new energy, the new earth that we're creating? You keep the qualities that serve you and serve others. By being available to teach the same blueprint, once you've gone through the process, you're able to teach that blueprint to other people. There's a lot of people out there that are in need of this training. So we are going to be starting at the end of May. We're going to be opening up the doors to start the process with regards to telling your story. We're just leading up to that now, so people have started, which is fantastic. I have to thank every single one of you that have made, like I said, a contribution in whatever way you've exchanged some energy. Don't get left behind. We need a lot of people to be able to do this very small time. We don't need a lot of time to hold space for other people. We're just wanting to structure it in a way that we use the most and the best of time. So that's what we're doing. So if you don't want to miss the boat, then jump in. We have set sail, but we are prepared to help take you with us. So thank you so much for listening, and please do make comments. Please do share with people who are in the field. Let's just switch that over to there. People that are in the fields of what's on the screen. Anybody who's in sort of spiritual work, light work, wisdom, share it on all the social medias that you can. We're about to go on to Mother Earth, which is Love Has Won. We're about to share some space, hopefully, on the website there, which I'm so excited about, to be able to show that this has been a gift from Mother Earth. I came with this from Mother Earth, and we'll go back through this process. A lot of people will elevate to really recognize what Love Has Won has done on this earth, which is our Mother God. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to your feedback. Do please make notes down below, and do get in touch. And if you want to join and tell your story, then just reach out as well. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.